The question is how do you find water? I'm out on site with Mr. Farmer right now, and he's got this great big field out in the area. So how do we find water? I'm going to take you from the entry level through to the advanced level. So years and years ago, this country, when it was founded, there were many hand wells dug and some pretty good dowsers. There's the old adage, like, you have to use a cut wire rod off a cut tree that's a pitted tree. Not so. Don't be in the box. Just kind of get out of that mode. But that's what they did. They cut a wire rod off from a tree, walked across the ground, and when it went down, they started digging. Sometimes they were successful because it was shallow, and sometimes they were not. So today, over the years, I've learned and developed to do applications a little bit differently. So I'm back out in the field now with Mr. Farmer, and we're looking at his great big field. So the tools that I've developed that I can teach people are, I will stand at the edge of the field and I will use my eyes and I will define an area all the way around this field. And then I ask a question. It's a program for me. Within this boundary that I have just defined, is there potable, good source of water that will that can be drilled, and will that source be maintained for as long as this farmer owns this land? And so then I get a yes. Okay, so where is it? The next question is, may I ask for a direction? Yes, you can. It's all right. Okay, I come around. That's the direction. So I have two choices at this point. If it's a really big field, I can just walk out across the field and these little guys will just go down. And these are plastic wire rods that I make. I don't cut tree branches anymore. So I can do that, but it might be 150 yards out into the field. Again, I will use my eyes and I will go as far to the edge of the field, and I'll pick a halfway point. And I'll use my rods again, and I'll say, from the far edge of the field to the halfway point, is it between that point? Is it between that point or not? No. So we know now from the halfway point to me is where actually the water is. So most of the time from that point, I will just walk out there. The rods, when I get over there, will drop down. So that's how we have found a vein. Now what we want to do is we want to develop, or we really want to know the rest of the story. And the rest of the story is, how deep is it? And is it drillable? Because sometimes it's not drillable. You can hit matrix down there that are so hard, like granite, different types of granite. And if there's like a huge crack, that's maybe why we can't drill there. Because if you drill down, hit the crack, you're gone, or your water's gone, one or the other. Back it up just a little bit. We found the spot, and we want to know which way this water is flowing. So we take the rods like this, and we step over the vein. The water's going that way. So now we know which way the water's flowing, which is very important, because if there are houses all the way around, you don't want to impact somebody else's water. And so that's a question you ask. And okay, this vein is not going to. So how deep is this vein of water? So we click them off. We start with, is it less than 100 feet? No. Is it less than 200 feet? No. Is it less than 300 feet? Yes. So then we take 225, 250, 275. And at 281, that's how deep it is. And then we do the same thing. The water, I told you before, the water's going this way. Me personally, what I do is step across the vein like this and let the water come to me. And then I start asking the same thing. How deep, or how many gallons per minute at the well head, not how many GPM is in the vein, because you won't get it all. You want to know how much it is at the wellhead. So there we have it. It's 281, and it's 7 gallons a minute is what we're projecting. So at that point, I decide or determine how wide the vein actually is. In this case, it was 4 inches wide, and there's a technique for that. Which is important, because when a well driller sets up, he needs to know what he's dealing with. And when a dowser is over top of a water vein, they're just like this. And so it's very important to tell the well driller that he also has to be plumb all the way down, because you're dealing with 4 inches at almost 300 feet. You stake that spot, and then you're done.